Hi guys, so I want to make a video because a lot has been going on and I want to document this if it can help anybody, or maybe just to document our experience. I want to look back on this and hopefully Shadow is good in the future, but I wanted to kind of come on here and say that we have two miniature potbelly pigs. One is Shadow and one is Star. There's two different breeds, so their mom and dad are different breeds of potbelly pigs. The mom is a miniature potbelly pig, and then the father is like a porta something, I think. I'm not sure. I'll put it right here if I remember, or can look it up. But we we got them about a year ago, so they're about a year and a month old, because we got them when they were a month old. They were very tiny. We got Shadow first, and then we got Star, and they've been best friends ever since. They've been doing great. We've just been feeding them regular pig food, like little pellets, and we will occasionally give them like food scraps, just like lettuce and stuff. We've looked up what to give them and what not to give them. But recently, you're gonna hear squeaking because there's something wrong with my car. But recently, Shadow has taken a turn for the worst. We're not really sure what's wrong with her at this time. Last night, I had noticed, I went to go feed them, and they have separate food bowls that's like connected. There's just a thing in the middle. And so I put, the scoop in, and I was feeding them, and Star came right out, and she was starting to eat, and then she would drink a little bit, and I noticed that Shadow was just kind of laying in the igloo, and like in their bed, and I didn't really think too much of it. I should have, because usually Shadow is like the one who usually like tries to steal all the food, and she wasn't. She was just kind of sitting in the igloo, and I went inside. I didn't check on her or them later at night. I had a lot of homework to do, and usually like I'll hang out with them, but last night I didn't because I was so busy. And so this morning Hunter went to go check on them and feed them, and she was just sitting there. She wasn't, she's very lethargic. She wasn't eating, nothing. She wasn't up and about or anything. Usually as soon as they hear our back door open, they run outside and they start, like oinking and stuff. And he was like, something's wrong with Shadow. So he started calling around vets, and we live in a very rural area. We live like 45 minutes to an hour away from Grand Rapids, which is a pretty large town in Michigan, or city in Michigan, and I don't even know if they have anything there. But the closest thing to us for an animal hospital, we have some rural ones. He called there. There's a place from Lakeview that came out and did a house visit, and the woman, I wasn't there for it, but my grandma and Hunter's mom were. She came out. She didn't have like an ultrasound or x-ray like portable with her, or mobile, so she kind of evaluated Shadow, just looked her over. She was obviously very lethargic. She wasn't eating. She wasn't really moving. So she gave her fluids via rectum. She also gave her a medication, an anti-inflammatory medication. I'm not sure exactly what it was called, but it's pretty much like Motrin. It's because she had a fever of 107, and normal range for pigs range from 101 to 102.5. So she obviously had a fever, and she gave her that, which brought her fever down to mildly elevated at like 103. So it was still like a slight fever, and she wasn't acting any different. Granted, it's only been an hour since the medication and IV fluids was given, but what they're doing is they thought that maybe it could be a heat stroke, it could be respiratory, it could be an obstruction, it could be an infection, it could be, they don't know. So instead of bringing, that doctor recommended that we bring her to MSU, which is about 2 hours away. It's in Lansing, and that would recommended we be evaluated by them. I have the phone number, but we want to get a second opinion by a veterinarian in Belding who works on farm pigs majority of the time. She used to work in an animal hospital, but she works on farm animals now. So, and she's a little bit older, a little bit more experienced. Not dogging on this younger vet from Lakeview. I know, I'm sure she's got great education and everything. But if we go to MSU, like she's suggesting, it's going to be at least $3,000 for an evaluation, and then it goes up from there depending on what they do, and especially if she has to stay overnight, which is likely what they're going to want to do to evaluate her, it's going to cost even more money. So instead of spending thousands and thousands of dollars on an evaluation, which may be needed, and if we get this second opinion at 7:30 in about an hour and a half and she says yes, definitely go to MSU, like there's nothing that we're going to be able to do, then obviously, like, I'm gonna take her to MSU, but I want to get this second opinion to just ensure that we can't give her Motrin and try and cool her down, and maybe it's just like a heat stroke or something, because she wasn't going in the pool like Star had been. My grandma said she's been like laying in the pool for the past hour and a half. So then that's why we have it there, is because it does get really hot, and we know that pigs can like overheat and everything. But I just am so scared. Like, I don't know I don't want to lose Shadow, and I just want to make sure that we're doing everything we possibly can to ensure her safety, and also make sure that we're doing the right thing for her and not just kind of going out on a whim to go to MSU and spend all this money and then have regrets. But I also don't want to have regrets in keeping her at the house and just keeping an eye on her every so often, and then her possibly passing away in the middle of the night. So we're going to have a second opinion come over, check her out and everything, and we'll see what happens then, and I'll record then as well. But I want to make this video because it's really just showing everybody, like, our pigs, our miniature potbelly pigs, are the exact same level of love that we have for them is the exact same level as for our dog and our cat. Like, and I'm sure, like, we don't have babies of our own or anything, but like, they are at the same level as our cat and our dog. Like, I know that a lot of people think like, oh, like, it's just a farm animal, like, if it passes away, like, they'll just breed another one. Like, no, that's, even with dogs, like, dogs get abused on the daily. There's so many that are in shelters and need help because people just breed them for money, and we don't need to do that. What we need to do is help the ones that are alive and here now, rather than trying to get money from them. Like, I just don't agree with a lot of things, and I want people to realize that, like, pigs should be treated with the same level of respect as cats and dogs and other animals that we have as pets in America. And it's just so sad that, like, if they were, like, we rescued them, so if we wouldn't have rescued them, they probably would have been slaughtered right now, or in a home where people don't even care about them. Like, I want to know where all these other babies are at, because there was like 10 babies that these people were trying to get rid of because the farmer that had breeded them on accident on his farm didn't want them. So, like, he had his friend, which is the woman that we bought these guys from, for like $100 to save them, like, was just gonna kill them. And, like, she was just handing them out to whoever and whomever was just reaching out to her. And, like, it's just crazy to me that, like, she just gave these pigs with, like, not asking, like, oh, do you know how to care for them? Like, you need to do this, this, and this. Like, we had nothing. So we had called vet clinics. We have called around places and did our own research and asked people on Facebook members in groups, that have previous pig owners or current pig owners, how to deal with a pig and stuff. And we were able to figure it out fine and everything, but not every situation is like this. Not every situation is there a person that is looking out for the best interest of the animal, and that's like what really needs to happen, because they have feelings too, and they have lives too, and you know, they feel pain just like we do. Shadow was running a temp here of 107, so we decided to put cold blankets on her to try and keep her comfortable. We also had a fan on her. Okay, I am back. So the vet came, and there was 2 vets. So the first vet that came didn't really give us any answers. So we had a second vet come. She the first vet only gave her Banamine. She gave her 2 cc's, which was weird because usually you give 1 cc per 100 pounds. So she's about 125 pounds. So the vet already gave her Banamine, pretty much just made her tired. It's like Benadryl or aspirin, pretty much. So we have to give her Banamine 1 cc by mouth every 12 hours for like pain or fever. She just gave us like the whole container that was left of it because there wasn't really much. So we got that. It's good to just keep it on hand, she said, for like a fever or pain. So I need to check her for fever every 12 hours about, and then that depends on whether I give her Banamine. I will give her penicillin 5 cc's intramuscular with a 6 cc syringe, and then a 18 gauge and 1.5 inch needle, which she gave us some, and then Hunter's mom also bought some. So you can see there, that's 18 gauge, 1.5 inch needle. And then this is just the 6 cc syringes. We got a few of those. For the penicillin that we have to give intramuscular, the vet gave it to her kind of like in her neck, but I don't feel comfortable doing that, so I want to just give it in the back of her leg. There's a little bit more like muscle there. And we'll give the penicillin every 12 hours, at least for 3 days. It could be viral, it could be bacterial. We don't know. If it's viral, then obviously it's not going to do anything. But if it's bacterial, then we should see some improvement, at least within the next few days. The Banamine, she said to give at least every 24 hours, if no fever, for at least 3 days. So penicillin and Banamine will be given at least for the next 3 days. No matter what. And if she's not improving after that, then we'll go 7 days out, 5 to 7 days, and if she's not getting any better, then we'll probably just give her a call again. Just cruise. Hey guys, so Cruz is getting up here. I wanted to give an update on Shadow. I took a few videos earlier and clips and stuff, but what happened was she got really sick, and we ended up having to give shots of amoxicillin, as well as liquid, like orally. We had to give her Banamine, which is just like an NSAID, as I've said before. And we are now on day 5, and she is doing so much better. She's walking around normal, she's acting normal. The only thing that's kind of changed about her is that she does not like us to touch her anymore, which is normal, I guess, because we gave her a whole bunch of shots, and she probably doesn't trust us anymore, but we'll gain it back. She was a little bit better today. She's happy and healthy and doing so much better, so that's all we could ever ask for.